Hi everyone. So in this video, I want to explain some ways in which we actually go about formatting the essay, how to use some of the tools in order to be able to do that. I'm using OpenOffice, so mine will look a little bit different from yours if you are using Microsoft Office. OpenOffice, by the way, in case you wanted, it's a free version of Microsoft Word. I got tired of having to pay for it, so I just got the OpenOffice version, OpenOffice, which basically works. By the way, it's got Excel and PowerPoint, a free version of that. Whatever, not to do a commercial for that, but in case you do want to use those tools but don't want to pay for them, you can do that. Some of you as well might have other kinds of programs. You might be using the Google Word doc. In any case, the same kinds of things are going to apply. They just might be in different places. So let's look at one of the first things. You have to put in your last name and page number. And one of the mistakes students do is they just start typing that, right? They'll just say, well, let me just type my last name, and I'll type in the page number. Okay. The problem with doing that, and then maybe tab it over to the right. The problem with doing that is that it won't show up on the next page, right? If I go to the next page, I don't have anything there, and I have to type it again. And when I type it again, it's going to move things around some. The best way to do it, rather than doing it like this, right? Let me take all this out. The best way to do it is to go somewhere where you have insert, and under insert you're going to see header and footer. Okay, you want to insert what we call a header. A header is something that shows up on every single page. Okay, and it will automatically do that. It's the great thing about the computers. They will do all this work for you. They take away a lot of this redundant, boring kind of stuff. We'll talk about that. We have an essay that we'll read when we get to talking about AI. But if I type in my last name there, see how it shows up on the other page, right? Automatically, right? Whatever I put there shows up on all pages automatically. I don't have to think about it, and the formatting works. And so just keep that in mind. Now, of course, this doesn't belong over here. Rather than tab over, though, see, I've got these buttons up here. This one says everything goes to the left. This thing says everything goes to the center. I don't want center here. I want all the way to the right. Okay. And then if I just type in my page number, look at what happens on page 2. It says page 2 is page number 1. So that's not going to make any sense, right? What I need to do instead is I'm going to insert, hold on, where is it? For me, it's under fields, but it'll be in different places somewhere under insert. And if I tell it to insert a page number, and see there, put 1, watch what happens when I get to page 2. It says page 2, right? So if I tell it to insert a page number, it automatically does it for me. I don't have to worry about it, right? I do it once on the first page, and then I'm done. So watch out for that. Make sure as well that you're using these buttons up here. Don't just tab over to center something. You've got a button up here that says center. Use that, right? And again, I want you to know how to use these elements of in a word processing program, in any kind of a program, because again, the computer's there to help you out. So make sure that you are using, excuse me, using those tools as much as you can. For this, I need a 1/2 inch indent. Well, if I go to Format and I go to Paragraph, I get all of these choices in here where I can do things like, you can see here it says indent, my first line indent, and if I choose 0.5 inches, I could have just typed it in, but I'm so far into that, 0.5 inches, now it automatically does it. And every time I hit enter from here on out, it's automatically going to move that in, right? So I don't need to do, at the beginning of a paragraph, I don't need to do anything. All I need to do is hit enter, and then immediately I start typing, and it always puts in that indent, right? You want to make sure to do that. In that paragraph section as well, you can do things like This is where you do your spacing. You can see that it's set for single space. I can set it for double space. There, now that's what double space looks like. So I can do all of those things, and you really need to do it for the whole document because I'm not double spaced up there. So now I go back to Format, Paragraph, double space it, and now it'll put that space in there. So now I've got the appropriate space in there. So you want to make sure to use those tools, right? And again, this is important, just getting used to using the tools in the way in which they were designed, because they make it a whole lot easier. And a lot of times if you don't use these tools, you end up with certain kinds of issues. That is when you email things to people and they try and bring up on their computer, they're going to come up wrong if you haven't used the appropriate tools. If you tab all the time, things are going to look funny. So you want to get used to using those kinds of things. So just keep all that in mind when you are working on your MLA formatting quiz and when you are formatting your actual essays for this class.